Uncle Drew here. It's Thanksgiving. We're heading into Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving, to me, I'm thankful my mom taught me how to make a pumpkin pie. Will it be the best pumpkin pie? I don't know. I think that's a little arrogant. Is it going to be an edible pumpkin pie? Absolutely. That's the only pumpkin pie I'm having. It has to be the best. Let's get to work. Okay, to get started on the pumpkin pie, look, you can take the easy way out and buy that store-bought pie crust. That's okay. It makes easier. We're all busy. We need to take some shortcuts when we can. I'm going to show you, though, how to make a quick and easy pie crust recipe in your own kitchen. It's easy. It's quick. As I say, it's going to be edible. Don't worry about it. And if it's not, so what? Put on your best poker face, serve it up, have pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving dinner. Everybody's going to be thankful. And if they're not, take away their plate of pumpkin pie. If they start complaining, pull it away. They're going to stop complaining pretty quick. 2.5 cups of flour. Is that quick? Is that easy? I think so. I forgot my salt. Just a pinch of salt, not a punch. That's 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of sugar in. La 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 la. Have some fun when you're making your pie crust. This is fun. It's soothing to me. It's relaxing. I'm making pie crust. Is it done yet? Is it a lot over there? There's still some left, but I can't see yet. Done! There's my whisker. Whoa, look at that. I've got look how easy that is. See? Flour ready in. Like a little mixy. Little mixeroo. Okay, real quick. Now, I haven't used this blender before, but I'm gonna try it. I don't think it's strong enough. I should have a food processor out, but I don't. Let's see. If not, old school, by hand. Butter! Make sure your butter's cold and unsalted. That's why I put less than a teaspoon of salt. We want to control our salt distribution. Now, you can use lard, you can use shortening, a mixture. Take your cup of butter, we want to cube it, right? A little bit easier to work with, but it's got to be cold, okay? So we'll start slice down. Now this way, we're making cubes. Cube. I feel like I'm playing that video game Cubert. Do you remember Cubert? That was from the 80s, Atari. All those games, best video games ever. Okay, our butter is cubed. I'll take out this one. Like I said, this is the first time I'm trying it with this blender. This could be a complete cluster, you know what. I've got my ice water ready. Let's try this here. We're gonna try this out and see how it works. My faith in the blender right here. Honestly, I don't have faith in this blender. I don't think it's gonna work, but we're trying. That's certainly not gonna work. That'll fall everywhere. So it's not, this isn't good. This isn't quick, this isn't easy right now. I better turn this. I'll pour it into this one. I transfer to the smaller one to have a better shot at getting this in. Let's see if it works. Let's see if my plan works here. Come on, slowly. Let's see. Uh-oh. We're almost there. Okay. We can make this work. Where's the blender? And we're gonna give it a little pulse. Just a little pulse first to start. We gotta see if this works. I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. Whoa! No. Pulse it. That was a close one. Add in the rest. Ice water's next. Just a little bit to start. Put our cover back on. Pulse it again. Not looking good in this blender, is it? I just turned quick and easy into long, painful, and hard. This isn't good for the butter. We don't like this. Calling an audible. We do not want the butter whipped, so far I don't like what I'm seeing. Nope. Had enough. Blender wasn't working. I don't have the food processor. We're going back to the bowl before we ruin it all. So watch this. Even after that big cluster mistake right there, we're going to be able to save this pie crust, okay? If you're missing your food processor, go old school by hand. Okay, watch. In there? Yeah. Butter's still cold and cubed, so that's good. Okay, we're just gonna crumble and we're gonna bring it together. We don't wanna work that too much. Perfect. So we're gonna save this and make this the best pie crust, okay? So we're crumbled now with the butter. We're just gonna need a little bit more ice water. Keep everything cold. So that's about a tablespoon I just added. And I'm gonna have my next tablespoon ready. Good, it's coming together. A little bit more water here. We're gonna take it out. In there. Okay, a little press, not too much. We're not gonna work this. We don't wanna overwork our pie crust. Fold it, press, like CPR, and 2, okay? Go again here, fold. This is gonna create layers of butter. We're gonna make this into a nice, kind of a ball, more of a circle, and then we're gonna press it down once, okay? Press, looking good, together. Help us later on when we go to roll this out into our actual pie dish, okay? There we go, and done. So there you go, even through adversity, pie crust done. Using a blender that wasn't really up to the task didn't phase us. All we had to do was take it out of the blender, go old school by hand. Sometimes old school is the best. Experience matters. That is how to make the best pie crust that you can in your own kitchen. Boom! You've got to leave this set in the fridge for minimum 30 minutes, okay? Maybe 20, depending on how impatient we get. Wrap it nice and tight. 1, 2. Quick and easy pie crust. Boom! Hey, if Uncle Drew can make pie crust, you can make pie crust too. Next, we're gonna give a little cleanup in the kitchen real quick, and then we're gonna get on to making our pumpkin pie filling. Stay with me. Boom. Okay, everybody, so our pie crust, it's in the fridge, it's all wrapped up, it's just firming up a little bit. We're gonna move on to making our pumpkin pie filling. And once that's close to being ready, I'm gonna remove the pie crust out, let it come up a couple of degrees, not to room temperature, but just enough so I'm able to work it and get it into my pie tray. So when you're baking or when you're cooking, if you've got a recipe and instead of searching around on your phone or in a book or wherever it might be, once you've got a screenshot of your recipe sitting there ready to use, kind of like my recipe right here, set everything out. Measure it, weigh it, whatever you need to do. That way, once you're working, everything that you need is going to be accessible right at your fingertips, just like I've done. Look, I'll wait for you. You go ahead and get the ingredients. Are you back? Okay, I think you're back. And don't worry about writing any of this down right now. My pumpkin pie recipe is going to be right in the description of this YouTube video. So you can go back, take a look, write it down, screenshot it, and that way while you're baking, all you need to do is refer over to your phone, boom, 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 boppity boopity, and you're making a pumpkin pie. It's gonna be nice, it's gonna be quick, it's gonna be easy. Same with that pie crust recipe. Okay, let's get to work, and we'll make the best pumpkin pie possible. Today I'm using pumpkin puree. It's a brand called E.D. Smith. I like it, I use it, it's quick, it's easy. Oh, hi E.D. Smith, I'm Uncle Drew, I bake. Pumpkin puree, fantastic. So let's move everything aside now so we can get to work. So I can move these aside, open up the can. I could have had that done already. KitchenAid, if you're watching, I could also use a new can opener. Maybe a food processor. My cutting board's split in half too. We're keeping expenses low while we're making these videos. You have, it can go a lot further than what you think. Oh, it's an arm workout. Okay, done? Let's start out with our eggs. Okay, I've had them out on the counter for a few minutes. I'm supposed to impress everyone at this point and do the one-handed crack into the bowl. Okay, fine. We could do that. I've seen a few different recipes out there to separate the egg yolk from the egg white and whip them separately. I'm not doing that today. This is supposed to be quick and easy. So if I have to separate those, it's more time. Let's get to it. I want to go take a nap. It's close to nap time for me. Middle of the afternoon. Uncle Drew needs a nap. I'm an old man now. Okay, let's go. Okay, 1. Did I really just do that? Oh, I don't think I can even salvage that egg. Oh, everything's falling. There, I saved it. I saved an egg. Can you believe that? That's good for a blooper reel, but I can't believe I just did that. I'll probably leave it in there too. I'm tired of people cutting out the funny stuff on their videos when they're making YouTube. They're cutting out the funny parts or showing when they make mistakes. We all make mistakes, just who's willing to show them? This guy right here. Okay, we'll try again, one-handed. Okay, no shells. It wasn't a great crack, but there were no shells, so that's mission accomplished, okay? There we go. Whew. We're back. I was doubting my ability there for a second. Okay, not bad, not bad. I almost lost it right there. Okay. Good. That's 2. I've made 2 mistakes here? Is that not strange? All right. Start out on low speed and then crank it up a little bit. Whip these. Fluffy. First in, brown sugar. Interesting, there's a clump. There's a clump. We need to break that. There we go, we got it. Pumpkin spice. Oh, I missed. There we go. Allspice. Nutmeg. Just a pinch. And a pinch of salt, not a punch. I'm gonna get my pumpkin puree from E.D. Smith. Again, let me introduce myself. E.D. Smith. I'm Uncle Drew, and I bake. La da da, and it goes. So around this time in your baking journey, you might be thinking, I should have just gone to the grocery store and bought one there. Never give up. Never give in. Bake like a champion. Let's mix again. Baking is soothing. All right, I can crank that up a little bit. Whoa, that was too high. Now I could have used a bigger bowl, but that would have made things easier. Be very careful when you're doing this. I don't advise it. Unless you're watching your blender, don't look up at the camera. I actually felt the spatula now. Last step, I'm going to turn that speed all the way down low. I've got 1 1/4 cups of heavy cream. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Add that, finish it off. You want to come in closer, look? There we go. Turn that speed up a little bit. You can see us work right here. We're working on our pumpkin pie. So I'm using one hand right now. Again, using a bigger bowl would be much more advisable, okay? Use a bigger bowl so you don't need to do what I'm doing right here around the edges. Not too much. Okay, I'm gonna set the camera down for a second. Best. Okay, just gonna turn that up a little bit. One more. Excellent. Good, good, good. Let's take those out. Out. Excellent. So I've got a lot of pumpkin pie filling right here and it's ready to go. I'm gonna have a lot of pie. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do here. We're gonna move a few of these aside first. Give us a little bit more working space. So I have one of my mom's Tupperwares. Don't tell her. She loves her Tupperware, and I have one. Ma, if you're watching, sorry, I have it. So this will make it a little bit easier later on to get it into our pie crust. Did you see how I almost dropped that right there, but I caught it and made the save? So in it goes. So I'm going right up to the 4 cup mark. Square that off. And I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to put the rest in my mom's Tupperware. But shh, don't tell her. I may make some pumpkin pie tarts. That way, if I only eat 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 tarts, I don't feel as guilty as opposed to eating the entire pie, which I did that before on the pumpkin pie. Really good though. If you can palm a basketball, you can palm your bowl. But be careful, there's no need to drop a bowl and break a bowl. Minutes, I'll put it in the fridge while I'm just doing a quick cleanup, and then we're going to get on to rolling out our pie crust, and also we're going to be making fresh whipped cream to go on top of this pumpkin pie. I say we'll be right back, but I'm going to edit this video anyway, so it's going to be like everything just happened magically. Okay, quick. And we're back. Okay. I'm using a disposable pie crust container today. Not the best, it's kind of flimsy. Once you decide on what kind of pie size is your favorite to make, so it could be a smaller one, 6, 9, 12 inch, whatever it might be, go out and invest in a nice pie container. Be much better than the flimsy ones, but these are good if you're going to a party or a picnic or a Thanksgiving dinner and you're the one responsible for pie and you're baking the pie, which after watching this video, I hope you give it a try. You can simply leave it there. You don't need to worry about getting your dishes back, right? Kind of like my mom with her Tupperware. She's wondering where all that is. Up there right behind me. Okay, we do have a little bit of a problem though. Here's our pie crust. I took it out of the fridge, but look at the size, okay? Big pie crust, usually good for 2 pies. I didn't cut it before I put it in the fridge. So look at this. When I put it in the center, it almost takes up the entire area of this container, of this tray, especially when I go to flatten it out. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, we're going to cut this down to size. Have a little bit of flour ready. Cover that up. Now, there's also a reason why I'm using this cutting board. Number 1, the other one's dirty. But number 2 is when I put this upside down, I know that as long as I roll this pie crust out to the edges here, it's going to be the perfect size for me. So that's what I want to do. That's why I've used this one. Okay. So I'm going to guess here that is half. I want to have a little bit thicker crust on this one tonight. So I'm going to roll it out to there. So I'm using about 3/4 of it. I'm going to roll this up. I smell something burning, but that's because I've got the oven preheating, 425 degrees to start. Make sure you have your oven preheating so it's ready to go. Roll that back, flatten together. Okay, so we're set. That looks like about a circle right there. So I'm going to start out by pressing, and I go around from the center, almost like I've got pizza dough, and I push out towards the exterior. Okay, it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to roll this out afterwards. So again, from the center, I push out one way, I'll come out the other way, and I'm using, I'd say more wrist here. Look at that. See how that's working? I've got everything together. You could spin it around a little bit. That way we'll keep everything going out uniform. Easier than using the rolling pin right off the bat. Okay? Just my weight. And the dough, the crust I should say, feels nice and firm and it feels cold, which is exactly what we want. So now there's 2 ways to do the pie crust here of what we want in terms of how do we transfer it from here to there. One is we can have a piece of parchment paper or wax paper right underneath this as we're going, and we'll simply be able to take the tray, turn it over, and then flip. Very easy. Or we can use another way where we have a rolling pin, we fold up one side, we fold up the other, we slide our pie crust container in, and then we unroll. That's the method that we're going to use today. Okay? Just dusting that off, even though it doesn't stick. So, rolling out your pie crust. I have a nice easy video on my YouTube channel on how to do that. Quick tutorial right here, since we're doing everything, making the best pumpkin pie with the best pie crust, right? Okay, take your rolling pin, roll away halfway through the crust, and roll towards you. Roll away and roll towards you. And if you want to spin it around, same thing. Roll away and roll towards you. Roll away, roll towards you, away, towards you. So this is the time now. I'm almost at the edge of there, so I know I need to go a little bit wider on that. Go this way, this way, this way, this way. I'll spin it again. And remember, if we have a little excess, that's okay. I can always use it to make those little pumpkin pie tarts. We'll just do a quick little check. I already know because we checked before, but if we want to make that perfect, I'll bring this side out a little bit. Look at that. Spin it upside down. I want to have at least an inch. Oh, there's the oven, that's ready, so that's good. At least an inch overhang all the way around, which looks like we do. Okay. Have your container ready. Fits. Rolling pin. Up. Take one side. Roll over. Take the other side. Roll over. Lift. Place in the center. Unroll. Unroll. Thanks, Mom. My mom taught me that one years ago. Okay, great. So I'm going to bring you in for a closer look now. So right here, just gently lift up the edges and press that down into the bottom of the pie tray all the way around. So just go ahead, lift up those edges and press just down into the corner. So you can see what I'm doing there. See? So I've just got to lift it up a little bit. Press down, press down, press down, press down, lift up, press down. Okay, once that's all the way inside. So we've got a nice thick pie crust, okay? I don't like flimsy pie crust. Excellent. So once that's in there, I'm going to take your knife. Now, if you have kitchen scissors that are clean, you can do that as well. But I am going to go right around the edge here. Find the edge. There we go. Around. Just like that. Remove, and we'll set that aside as well. So our excess pie crust right here, I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside, right up in there. We want to let our pie crust breathe when it's cooking. It is thicker, so I'm going to make an A. I'm kidding. We're making a few holes in here just to allow that pie crust to breathe a little bit around. Pie crust is ready. It's perfectly fine to leave it like that, but if you want to make this a little bit fancy, there's so many different ways that you can do this. But one easy way is pinch one side just like that, move down a little bit, pinch, move down a little bit, pinch, move down a little bit, pinch, 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 pinch. Okay. Now also, when you go to cut this pie afterwards, it'll be a little bit easier. You can simply go right inside all your folds, okay? So we'll just firm that up a little bit, make that a little bit fancier. You'll have a nice, thick crust. Okay, so final step right here. Some would say this is the most important step. No, it's not. Bake like a champion. You can do this. Take your pumpkin pie filling, start pouring it in. Now, we don't want to fill it right to the top of the pie crust because this is going to bubble up. Look at that. Once that's in, just a little shake. Get rid of any little air bubbles that we have in there. Perfect. We're going to have to put this in the oven now. Hand it. Almost lost that. On the rack goes. So pumpkin pie is in the oven. We're starting out at 425 degrees for about 15 minutes. Not about, 15 minutes. You know when someone says, oh, about 15? And then I'm wondering, well, is it 15 or is it not 15? 15 minutes, 425 degrees. Then we're gonna lower that temperature in the oven down to 350 degrees, and we're gonna cook for approximately 30 minutes more. And I say approximately because we're gonna check on it. Once that crust is getting nice and golden brown, and you'll see that pumpkin pie firming up, we'll do a toothpick check, make sure the toothpick comes out, it's nice and clean, then we know it's ready. If not, back in the oven it goes for a few more minutes until it is. In the meantime, we're gonna make our nice topping. Who doesn't love pumpkin pie with fresh whipped cream? Ah, here we go. Simple, simple, right? Simple. Add in, I don't even know how much, about that much. So basically I've used half a liter, thereabouts, to make all this pumpkin pie filling. And the pumpkin pie filling I made is sufficient for 2 pumpkin pies. Like you saw me make there, I only made 1, but it's sufficient for 2. So the recipe you're gonna see in the description, pie crust and pumpkin pie filling, is sufficient for 2 good-sized pumpkin pies. Or like I've done, 1 pumpkin pie, and I'm gonna make a lot of pumpkin pie tarts. Oh. Okay, let's start whipping. Low speed. Whoa. Wire's kind of hung up there. We'll go to number 2 to start, okay? Around and around she goes. Now, you could do this by hand, but if you have a blender, oh, nice stiff peaks on this one, okay? So we started out, we're good. I wish you could come in a little bit closer and see what we've got. I'll try and tilt up a little bit so you can see here. See? All right. That's good. If you're using a bigger bowl, you can go in figure eights. It's starting to thicken up, which is great. I'll lift this up so you can see it. See how we're in the light? We're a little bit thicker. Got to watch my thumb when I'm doing this. We're thickening up really nice. All right, we don't want to over whip that. We'll get out our powdered sugar here. I'm not prepared though this time. About a half a cup. I won't use all of it. Just depends on how sweet you want this. Once we get down to the bigger, grainier pieces here, we can just simply press them through. Right. Back to blend. Nice. Done. We want to make sure we have stiff peaks. We don't want this to fall. It's a little test too. It's nice. So watch, I'll show you here. I'll get a nice big, just falling off the spoon. Perfect. I'll give it a taste. Oh, that tastes so good. I actually wanted to have another spoon of that right there, but I won't. So wrap that up. I'm gonna set that in the fridge. Our pumpkin pie still has a lot of time in the oven to finish baking. And once it comes out, we've got to let it cool before we add this whipped cream on there as well. So this gives us about 30-35 minutes now to go ahead and clean up all of our stations and be ready just to dress up our pie and make it look great for the party.
Check this out. See? Looking nice. Oh, mini tart. All right, so it's already made it through the first 15 minutes. I've already turned the temp down to 350, and now we're gonna leave that alone and let the oven do its magic. Right, so time for our little toothpick check here. I'm gonna take a toothpick. We're going to go right in the center of the pumpkin pie. It has to come out clean. There's still pumpkin pie filling on there, so it's gotta go back in. We'll go for another 7 minutes or so. Hey, another toothpick check time. Let's check this out. Oof, looks like we just put in the right amount of pie filling as it bubbled up. So this has got to be clean. Let's see. In. Almost. A few more minutes. Check these out. Pumpkin pie, fresh pumpkin pie. Toothpick check. Let's check it out. Should be relatively clean. Yeah, see that? We're good. Check these out up close. Pie, look at that. Isn't that beautiful pumpkin pie? Thanksgiving right around the corner. Pumpkin pie. Be careful. It smells delicious. Now this is the most crucial step And the hardest part of pumpkin pie and baking, we have to wait. I don't know. The aromas right now in the kitchen, actually in the entire house, incredible. Nice. I love this. Like, this is thick pie crust, which I love. You see how the filling bubbled all the way up and filled in our pie. So next time we can even go a little bit less. Like I mentioned earlier, that pumpkin pie filling that I made, it's good for 2 pies easily. This is a 9-inch size. You can actually go for 2 pies plus a few tarts with that easy recipe that we made out there. So keep that in mind when you're filling up your 9-inch pie tray. Check out how thick that crust is. I love what I'm seeing. I don't think you can see it from up there, but check this out. Look how thick that crust is. Can you see that? Look. Nice, thick pie crust. Love it. I'm gonna leave this cool completely. It's gonna take a little while to do that. And then once that's ready, I'm gonna go ahead and get the whipped cream out and dress this one up and make it all ready for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna actually deliver it to somebody else. I'm not eating this one. I'm gonna be eating the small pumpkin pie tart as our little trial. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes.
And we're back, everybody. Fresh pumpkin pie. Smells delicious. It's cooled down. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some whipped cream. I'm gonna cut into this pie so you can see how deep it is, how thick the crust is, and how everything turned out. Because we don't hide anything here on Uncle Drew's Kitchen. So just before I do this, please do me a favor, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, follow the channel. That way you can see all the great recipes I post, everything that I bake, everything that I cook. Hit the like button, and also please do me a favor and share the video and the recipe to your friends so they can get to know me and subscribe to my cooking channel and my kitchen as well. All right, let's get in this. Let's see. I'm going to use this as a guide right in there. That is a thick crust. My goodness. I'm going to show you my regular size piece. Just a little sliver here. Nothing major. Nothing major. All right. I love pumpkin pie because we get to see. I love seeing pumpkin pie like this. Let's see how everything turned out. See if we did it right. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Just a little crumb in there. You have to check this out. Come on in. I just got a little taste of that butter.
Right, so check that out. Nice, thick pumpkin pie. Look at that crust. Oh, I dropped it. Look, I'll bring it up to eye level here. You can see it. Look at that. Beauty. Look at that. Look how thick that is. That looks absolutely stunning. Beautiful.
We'll get our fresh whipped cream. I don't have a piping bag ready, which isn't a problem. Get our nice dollop of whipped cream, which I've had on the counter a little too long, but that's okay. And add that right back in. So my little tartski, I got the video, so that's good. Again, into that whipped cream. So don't leave your whipped cream on the counter too long, like I did. Tastes delicious. Here we go. So what I did inside this tart is I used a few of the leftovers from the pie crust from when I had cut the exterior here and used them right inside this tart. You can certainly do that because we're going to be eating the tart right out of this container. If you have other pieces of the crust and you mix and match and do a patch job, that's okay. That's what this is all about right here. It's extras, they're bones, these are great. I could take this right out, so that's what I'm gonna do. Look, this way I can even show you the bottom. Check it out, nice golden brown. This could be the best pumpkin pie tart I've ever had. I know it's gonna be the best pumpkin pie tart I'm having today because I haven't had one yet. Okay, move that aside. That one won't get any crumbs in it. Here we go. Don't even need to blow on this to cool it down. It's already set to go. How good is this going to be? My mom wanted the minis. Sorry, Mom. I've got to bake more now. Oh, yeah. Boom! This is now officially the best pumpkin pie tart I've had today. The crust is so flaky and buttery. I mean, look, look, look. I think this is just going to be my dinner right here. This is absolutely delicious. You've got to bake these right away. You have plenty of time before Thanksgiving. Look, I've got that pie. I just hope this makes it to the weekend. I mean, I don't know if it will. I might actually get a spoon or a fork, throw that whipped cream on, and just get in the rest of this. Okay, I've got to finish this now. Bye. That is so good.